So look at Anthony Ryder from South Lyon, Michigan, recently selected as the Lions 2020 Fan of the Year. He has a passion about sports broadcasting.
With the 112th selection in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver, USC. One pride, baby! Yeah! What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now, the Detroit Lions are officially in the preseason swing, right? Rookie minicamp is officially underway. OTAs are not too far away, and training camp in the preseason are not that far in the future either. So with that being the case, we of course have a lot of news and a lot of rumors coming out, a lot of news about how the rookies are playing, a lot of news about scheduling concerns or scheduling things that are helpful for the Detroit Lions, as well as just a lot of different news surrounding the Lions at this point in time. Today, I wanted to make a quick video taking a look at the newest news and rumors, taking a look at potential joint practices, taking a look at rookie contracts, and taking a look at some really interesting scheduling by the NFL that's going to work out in the Detroit Lions' favor. So, with that being said, without any further ado, let's get right on into taking a look at the Detroit Lions' newest news and rumors. Now, starting off with the joint practices. Now, the Detroit Lions have officially announced 2 joint practices this season. After 2 years ago, when the Lions did not schedule a single one and a single joint practice a year ago versus the Indianapolis Colts, the Detroit Lions are going back-to-back as they will host the Giants in week 1 of the preseason, as well as Jacksonville in week 2 of the preseason. Now, the Lions will hold a joint practice with both of these teams, with the Giants, of course, in week 1 and the Jaguars in week 2. And I think that this is a really good thing for the Detroit Lions, right? It is an opportunity for the Detroit Lions to play against different players. It is an opportunity for the Detroit Lions to practice against players that aren't theirs and practice against 2 playoff caliber teams early in the preseason. Now, obviously, it's preseason. Obviously, you're not going to get all the starters all the time, but if you're going for a week's practice versus 2 playoff teams in back-to-back weeks, that's going to help you get up to speed quicker. That's going to help you play better quicker, and it's going to prepare the Detroit Lions for Kansas City in week 1 when they need to play not only a playoff contender, but a Super Bowl caliber team like Kansas City as they kick off the NFL season. So as I said, just kind of recapping, the Giants are going to be in Detroit in week 1 for a joint practice at Allen Park, and the Jaguars will be there the following week after, before the Detroit Lions make their travels over to Carolina for the 3rd and final preseason game, where they will be playing Bryce Young for a majority of that game, likely, as they will see him again in week 5 of the 2023 NFL season. Now, getting on to the rookie contracts so far. There have been 3 rookies before rookie minicamp to have signed their 4-year deals. The first of which is the 63rd overall pick, Hendon Hooker, who signed a 4-year, $5.719 million contract with the Detroit Lions to be the QB, hopefully, of the future. Now, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes came out and said that this year is going to be very much a redshirt year for Hendon Hooker. It is not going to be a year where Hendon sees the field very much. It's not going to be a year where he touches even the practice field very often because of his ACL recovery. And even though his doctors have said that he will likely be ready by week 1 to play, that he will be 100% medically cleared, more likely than not, by time the first week of the NFL season rolls around, the Lions have come out and said that they're not going to risk it. They're just going to let him sit on the bench. They're going to let him learn the playbook. They're going to let him practice, obviously, once he's fully healthy, but they're not going to put him on the field probably at all this year. They're treating this year very much like a redshirt year in college of he's not going to play. He's not going to suit up, really. He's just kind of going to be in the locker room. He's going to be on the sidelines. He's going to be at practices, and he's going to learn the playbook. He's going to kind of learn how the NFL system works, and they're not going to put Hendon Hooker on the field until he's ready, which I think is the right move. As much as Hendon Hooker's age should make him NFL ready, he's really not, right? The Tennessee offense lacked a lot of things, I should say, and it leaves Hendon Hooker with a lot of ground to make up on some of the other young quarterbacks in this class. So, give Hendon Hooker time to heal, give him time to recover, give him time to learn the NFL, give him time to get caught up to NFL speed, give him time to learn how to read the backside of plays, give him time to, fix some of the red flags he had coming out of college. And then, 2 years down the line, when Jared Goff's contract expires, or if Hendon Hooker's just ready to take over, then he's ready, and that you're putting a good product on the field, not hoping that this rookie, and by the time second year quarterback, turned out to be something that you weren't expecting. So Hendon Hooker signed a 4-year, $5.719 million contract and has looked pretty good at camp so far. Obviously not doing any of the physical stuff, but as far as the mental side of the game and leadership side, a lot of people have been very impressed with Hendon Hooker. 5th-round pick Colby Sorsdale, the other player in the picture, has signed a 4-year, $4.16 million contract with the Detroit Lions. He has officially made the transition from right tackle to right guard at rookie minicamp and looks incredibly natural doing so. From everything that's come out, seems like Colby is going to be the starting offensive line when it comes to the rookie minicamp. He's on all 4 lines in the rookie offensive line and is the starting right guard at 2 of them, I believe. I think Colby will get a lot of work in the preseason. Obviously isn't going to crack the starting offensive line because you have Taylor Decker, you have Jonah Jackson, you have Frank Ragnow, you have Big V or Graham Glasgow at that right guard position. And then, of course, Penei Sewell at the right tackle. So Sorsdale is not going to be a starting guard. He's probably not even going to be a backup guard. He'll be the 3rd stringer at best. But I think he will get a lot of work in the preseason, and so far has looked pretty good versus the rest of the rookies at rookie minicamp. And then Antoine Green has also signed his contract, a 4-year deal up to $3.84 million for the wide receiver out of North Carolina. He also has been looking pretty good at rookie minicamp, looks good in a lot of intermediate and deep routes, shows strong hands, shows the ability to high point the ball. Again, is reminding a lot of people of what Marvin Jones looked like at training camp and what Marvin Jones looked like as a rookie with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, getting on to the final bit of news and rumor, and this is something I didn't know when researching for this video, but something that I found incredibly interesting, and that is the fact that the Lions are getting more rest than their opponent and are actually getting more rest than almost every single NFL team on their schedule and in the NFL entirety because of the way their primetime games have been scheduled. Now, the Detroit Lions will have 3 more days of rest than the Seahawks going into week 2 because of their Thursday night kickoff game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And then, which is very important because obviously Seattle is a playoff caliber team. Seattle is a team that is probably going to compete for the division title, if not, a deep playoff run. So getting 3 extra days of rest in preparation is going to be big for the Detroit Lions versus the Seattle Seahawks, right? If you want to open up a Thursday night game, if you want to play Thursday night, week 1 is the best opportunity to do so because then you go into week 2 with extra rest and extra preparation. And after a tough Kansas City game, I would imagine the Lions are going to want to get back to 500 and they're going to need the extra time to prepare for a playoff team like Seattle. Now, the Lions also go into week 5, having 3 more days of rest versus the Carolina Panthers as they play Green Bay on Thursday night in week 4. So going into a revenge game at home versus the Panthers, much like week 2, the Lions are going to have 3 extra days of rest. Now, in week 7, the Detroit Lions are facing the Baltimore Ravens, a team who is going to play in London the week prior. So while everybody is going to have the same number of days of preparation, the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to adjust back to the United States local time, and they are going to probably be experiencing a little bit of jet lag. Therefore, the Lions are going to have more rest than the Baltimore Ravens going into week 7. In week 10, just 3 weeks later, the Lions are coming off their bye week, and the Chargers are coming off a short week due to Monday Night Football the previous week before. So the Lions are going to have almost 10 extra days of preparation for the Chargers, as well as getting to watch them on Monday Night Football the week before and having an entire week to prepare without having a game to kind of hold them back. So they're going to have upwards of 10 extra days to prepare for the Los Angeles Chargers. In week 13, the Lions will have 3 extra days of rest due to coming off the Thanksgiving game against the Green Bay Packers. So they will have a 3-day head start on the New Orleans Saints, as well as having an extra advantage in week 18, as they will have an extra day of rest because of their Saturday game coming down the stretch into week 18 versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, that Minnesota game very well could come down to the division. I think that Minnesota, Chicago, and Detroit are all going to be in contention for the division late down the stretch. And if it's a 1 or 2 game gap, this 18 game in this the week 16 and week 18 games could really help determine who is going to win the NFC North this season. And having an extra day of rest in a game that could end up being incredibly important down the stretch is going to be big for the Detroit Lions, as they will take on their division rivals at home with a potential to not only clinch a wild card spot, but a potential to clinch a division and potentially a home field advantage in the NFL playoffs. So, with all that being said, that is the current news and rumors of the Detroit Lions. Of course, the joint practices, the rookie contracts, as well as the schedule release and the kind of advantage the Lions are getting for a lot of their schedule. Almost a third of their schedule, they're going to have more rest than their opponents this year. So, with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about the news and rumors. Let me know what you think about the joint practices, the rookie contracts, and of course, in my opinion, the surprising news of the Lions getting more rest than their opponents this season. I'd be very curious to hear what you guys have to say. But with all that being said, that's all I got for you guys right now. Thank you all so very much for watching. And until next time, and as always, go Lions.